Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Phil Switch. I'm Phil Carute, and I'm joined by my fearless co-host, Brock Tamarino. The Phil Switch podcast is brought to you by Sal's Tire Caps. Sal's Tire Caps, made for people with fingers. Well, Brock, as much as I hate to say it, Sal makes a good point. I suppose there's other ways you could apply tire caps, but fingers are helpful.
Yeah, I would have to agree. He does make a good point. But I'm sure people over time have found other ways to, as you said, apply tire caps, possibly with their feet, their mouth. I don't know, their elbow pits, their armpits. I just hate to hear Sal, cut out what could be a very good part of his customer base. That's all I'm saying.
And also it should be noted that here at the Phil Switch, we support and accept people from all walks of lives, all walks of life. I'm sorry, life. Fingers or no fingers. At the Phil Switch, we hope there's a tire cap for you either way. So thank you, Sal. Brock, this weekend on Saturday was the Taylor Hawkins Tribute Concert. Taylor Hawkins, a drummer for the Foo Fighters. I caught part of it, not live while it was going. I scoured around YouTube and caught some different things. I caught the full Foo Fighters performance through YouTube, and then I've kind of just caught other things here and there. But from everything I can see, everything that I read about it, very good performance. So I thought it was kind of cool. They brought in some other drummers to fill in, obviously, for Taylor Hawkins. But the Foo Fighters themselves had some good drummers. Obviously, Taylor Hawkins, he started out with Alanis Morissette, and then ended up in the Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl, founder of the Foo Fighters, started it all, obviously. Drummer for Nirvana, drummed the whole first self-titled Foo Fighters album. I think he did everything. And then most of the second Foo Fighters album, the Color and the Shape. And I think that he did some drumming on some of the other ones too, along with Taylor. But the first two were always my favorite, still have been. And I just like the first two. But then actually another drummer they had, William Goldsmith, really cool drummer. He was with several other bands, but one band I think of was Sunny Day Real Estate. Now I say the one band I think of, I wasn't really into Sunny Day Real Estate necessarily, but they have a song on the Batman Forever soundtrack, and that's how I really got hooked on listening to some of their stuff. I guess I didn't listen to much of their stuff after that one. So anyway, they had a song on the Batman Forever soundtrack called 8, and that song is awesome. Probably the highlight of Batman Forever. So both soundtrack and movie. Just couldn't. I never did watch Batman Forever, so maybe that's not fair. But I saw what I wanted to see of it through music videos. So
Yeah, we kind of talked about the Batman Forever when we talked about the episode where we talk about Batman, and Batman Forever just couldn't do it now. And it's nothing against Val Kilmer. I mean, he's got great work out there. He's got Top Gun, Maverick, both very good. He's very good in both of those. Tombstone. I guess he had Tombstone. People liked him as Doc Holliday. Everybody that's seen Tombstone, obviously, you can't say you just like Tombstone. You've got to say I like Tombstone, and then you got to go on to say for another 10 or 15 minutes how great Val Kilmer was as Doc Holliday. And at some point, you got to make some comment of I'm your Huckleberry and refer back to when he did the gun spinning thing with the cup at the saloon there. And so Tombstone and Top Gun Maverick. Batman Forever, maybe towards the bottom of his list of successes. So but as going back to the tribute concert. I didn't really see any of it outside of, I would read like maybe a little article while I was scouring the internet, and I would see the video. Maybe they had embedded or attached that article. I did see his Taylor Hawkins' son, Shane Hawkins, play drums on My Hero. That was really cool. Kid did a very good job. And I guess from an article I read, he had actually done that song for a tribute concert for his father that he had done prior to this tribute concert that the Foo Fighters put on. So, yeah, just really cool stuff. I'm not sure the other drummers that were there. I know he was just from reading the article, but I don't really know who else was there. Do you?
Yeah, actually, I do. Josh Freese, he was the first drummer that played with him at the tribute concert. He did 2 songs. Josh Freese, most people know him from A Perfect Circle. Maybe some people in the punk realm know him from the Vandals. But really, great work with both of those bands. But that guy is all over the place. He's done so much studio work. You'd be hard pressed to find an album he hasn't, or you'd be hard pressed to have listened to something that he probably hasn't played on, especially if it's a little bit more modern, maybe like, well, I don't know, within like the 90s and on, especially if it's rock or pop, anything like that. He's kind of all over. So really good drummer. Travis Barker was the next drummer that played with them, I believe, from Blink 182. And what was it? Nandi Bushell, who is of YouTube sensation. 12-year-old little girl, I think out of the UK, and she got a little bit bigger. She did like a drum off with Dave Grohl over YouTube or some social media video thing. She played with them. Rufus Taylor, who is Roger Taylor's son, Roger Taylor, the drummer for Queen. So Rufus Taylor played with them, and I think he's played at other concerts with them, even when Taylor was there. Like maybe they did some cover stuff or they were in the area. So he's played with them before. So they're all these people kind of know each other anyway. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. But Omar Hakim, who is probably the most veteran drummer there, he's played with tons of people too. He backed up Paul McCartney at this concert, and then played a couple songs with the Foo Fighters. I think he's played with like Madonna and people like that as well. So Omar Hakim has been playing for a while and has a very extensive, impressive resume as a musician. And then, yeah, like you said, Shane Hawkins played with him, which is Taylor's son, 16-year-old son of Taylor Hawkins. So, yeah, really good. Yeah, just good. It was cool. It was kind of cool to see, like I said, the other drummers, me being kind of a drum nerd or whatever. So, anyway, I thought we would take some calls today, Brock, if that's all right with you. Just seeing if people want to call in to share some musical experiences they might have had with this. So maybe you played in a band, maybe you had buddies that were in bands. Yeah, so we'll open up the lines, call in and let us know what some of your musical situations were, like good memories you had or just memories in general you had of music. And look at this, our producer's throwing it up. We've already got our first caller. Daryl, you are on the Phil Switch. Let us know about your musical experiences.
All right, man. So I'll tell you guys right now, back in high school and even through, college age, me and my buddy Sal, we had a band going. Now, when we started back in high school, we were playing like rock stuff. I mean, we were playing like Rush, we were playing Led Zeppelin, stuff like that. I played bass. And I tell you one thing, I look out in them crowds sometimes, them girls be looking at me, and I was looking at them, they're looking at me. I was looking back at them. Nothing ever came of that. So I guess maybe they were just intimidated. I was pretty sexy up there with the bass. I mean, I kind of half joke. It's only like a half joke there. But anyway, my buddy Sal played drums. And I tell you, he could play like Neil Peart. And he could play like that John Bonham. And I think if things been different for Sal, you guys might be talking about him being some great drummer on your show. You know what I'm saying? But Sal got into a little bit of problem with the law. Sal liked to get sauced up. Now, I tell you one thing, Sal was a better drummer when he was sauced up. I can't believe how he'd play. He'd be playing like Tom Sawyer from Rush. He'd be playing that, and he'd get a little sauced up. You're like, whoa, Sal, you're doing all kind of things on them drums now. Some people are having a hard time tapping their foot, which is just like Rush, and they'd be like, oh, I think he's better than Neil Peart. And
do you think, Daryl, that maybe he was doing extra stuff when he was sauced up because maybe he wasn't playing as well?
No, I don't think that at all. You guys had to be there. You had to be there is what I'm saying. And, but anyway, he played real good. He was awesome. Like I said, he played Neil Peart. He played, John Bonham.
I think it's Bonham. I think it's John Bonham.
Who's that?
I think you're saying Neil Peart and John Bonham, but I think it's John Bonham.
That don't make no sense. That guy's from England, so I think they call it Bonham. But anyway, yeah, he played like them. He played like a lot of good guys, really good guys, really. And I remember I'd be on bass. Sometimes he'd get sauced up. I was like, "Whoa, where are you taking us? We're doing like a Jazz Odyssey thing here, like in Spinal Tap or something." And but real good. And like I said, he got in trouble with the law, and things just kind of went south for Sal. He doesn't like when I say that. He thinks it sounds weird, but yeah. But no, we had real good times. Real good drummer, probably the best drummer I ever played with. He'd be up there on them Grammy Award things right now, I'll tell you that much. Maybe if he was gracious enough, I'd be up there with him, maybe scouting out some chicks there. But yeah, anyway, that's my musical story. All right, cool. Musical story it is. So your buddy Sal playing as good as Neil Peart and as they say in the UK, as Daryl would say, John Bonham. All right, so next caller, Theresa. Theresa, you are on the Phil Switch. Theresa, what is your musical story or whatever you want to share with us about music?
Okay, guys. Yeah, so guys, I have, my son, he started playing music a couple years back. And guys, I want to say, I don't want to brag, but I think he's a prodigy, guys. Started playing music just a little while back. And in fact, my good friend Meredith came over. Meredith and I are so close. Meredith is such a good lady. She's so fun. And we get together. We just have the craziest time. And she came over and my son is playing his music in his bedroom. And I said, honey, get out here. Meredith is here. And so he comes out. Now I'll tell you guys, we started him out on guitar. He didn't like it. We decided to maybe try drums. Didn't like it. We picked him up a ukulele. And I will tell you guys right now, oh my gosh, guys, he has done so much with this ukulele. He told me the day we got it, he said, I don't want to play that like everybody else plays it. And I said, listen, you have to crawl before you can walk. And he said, I've heard that before, Mom. I've heard it before. I'm ready to run. And I said, well, you're ready for what you're ready for. And so he said he wanted to play the ukulele like a violin. So we got him a bow. Yeah, we got him a bow. And so he plays that ukulele like a violin. I said, Meredith, he's going to come out here. So he came out here. He starts playing this beautiful song. I'm not sure what it was. And he said the title before he started playing it. And as he starts playing it, Meredith, she's so cute. She whispers into my ear, Theresa, psst, Theresa, that doesn't sound like that song at all. And I said, I know, Meredith. I said, I know he is already in the short time he's been playing this ukulele bow thing. He is just really blossomed into this artist. Like he'll play songs and some of the songs I know when he says them and he starts playing them. It's like, I can't believe what he's done with this song. Like he's playing it better than the Beatles played it. You know, it's like, honey, oh gosh, I don't think you know where your talent is. You're so talented. And he's playing these songs and nobody understands what he's doing. And I said, you know what? People didn't understand Picasso. People didn't understand Galileo. They didn't understand these things. They didn't understand them. I said, honey, people might not understand you and that's okay. You keep playing. You keep playing how you're playing, honey.
Theresa, you said that he plays the ukulele like a violin. Have you guys ever thought of calling it a ukulele?
Oh my God. Oh, Phil. That is so hilarious. I'm going to tell him that. Now, I might just kind of put a little bug in his ear because sometimes if he doesn't feel like he came up with the idea, he does not like it. He gets angry. He gets so angry. And his dad's away so often. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to tell him ukulele. Oh, that is so funny. So funny. If we ever get big with the ukulele, Phil, I'm going to send you some of that cash. And I'll send some to you too, Brock. I just love you guys. Okay, thank you guys for letting me share. Be looking out for my son. Be looking out for him, guys. He's coming with the thunder.
All right, Theresa. Her son's playing the ukulele, Phil called it. Okay, so the next person we have up, according to our producer, is Patrick. Patrick, you are on the Phil Switch. Let us know about your musical stuff or whatever Phil said.
All right, yeah. So I was in a band, right? And I didn't play no instruments as a singer. And every so often, the other band members would give me this nice 2x4, right? And they give me a hammer and they say, Patrick, go behind the drums and tap this lightly. So I'd be back there hammering my wood, right? And then they'd call me up to do a song. Now, I got to tell you guys, we were exclusively a Whitney Houston tribute band, right? Yeah, exclusively. And so they'd have me come up and do the big number. And I think you guys know what that is, right? Whitney Houston. I want to dance with somebody? No, Phil. I picked this song, I picked it on my own. And not necessarily because of Whitney Houston, more because of Kevin Costner, right? Because I love The Bodyguard. So I told him, I said, guys, if I'm going to come from behind the drummer and come up to the front, it's got to be a good song. And they said, what are you thinking, Patrick? I said, I'm thinking, I Will Always Love You.
So, Patrick, when you guys were like exclusively, like you said, a Whitney Houston tribute band, did you guys do anything? And the only reason I mention this, Patrick, is because your accent is noticeable. Did you guys ever do anything with the vocals, or did you? How did you play that? Did you guys play a completely different style? What did you do with that?
That's a good question you asked there, Brock. So what I did, right, is the rest of my band, beautiful musicians, right? They play their instruments absolutely beautifully. So they would play it just like you hear it on the record, just like you hear it on the CD. I would sing it my own way. Because you know what? As beautiful as a singer as Whitney Houston is, I've got heart. I've got heart that's deep down inside my soul. And I'm not afraid to sing from it. Would you guys like to hear it?
I would love that. I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear you sing "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston.
Just maybe like a snapshot. Can you give us a snapshot of it?
Oh, I can give you a snapshot, and I'll tell you what, that snapshot's going to knock you off your feet. You're going to land great right on your boat, and you're going to say that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard, even if you've heard an angel sing. So I'd started out real slow, right? So I'd started out. If I should stay, I only be in your way, eh? So I go. But I know I'll think of you each step of the way, eh? And I will always love you. Oh, hey. Will always love you. Hey. Will always love you. And then I get to the big part, like at the finale there. And I'd get to that big part and I'd tell everybody, shh, shh, shh. You got to be quiet now, I'd say to them. And then I'd boast it out. And I will always love ya. Ooh, I will always love ya. Ooh, I will always love ya. Oh, I will always love ya. Oh, I. Oh, I. That's how I'd sing that song. Sorry, got my dogs barking now. They love that song. Every time I sing that song, my dogs start barking. Because they can feel it in their heart. Even a dog can feel it. A dog can feel the love. You guys hear me?
Yeah. Maybe the most unique version I've heard of that song. So, very good, Patrick. Very good. How's your band doing? They still playing out?
Oh no, we only got to play 3 shows. Yeah, that was 5 years ago. Oh, Patrick, I'm sorry to hear that. You doing any other musical endeavors?
Oh, always looking, fellas. But not everybody's ready for what I have to offer. I think people are a wee bit intimidated.
Yeah, that could very well be. Could very well be. Well, hey, Patrick, thank you for coming on the Phil Switch, sharing your musical experience with us. We have one caller left. Joe. Joe, you are on the line with the Phil Switch. Joe, go ahead. Tell us about you and music, Joe.
All right, guys. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm a bit of a musician myself. I'm a horn player. People often ask, Joe, what horn do you play? Because there's several. And I say, pick one. But no, guys, I've had a few bands. Most of my bands revolve around a trio or quartet. When I first started with a couple of my buddies, I said, this is a trio, but we also have it as a quartet sometimes. Maybe we ought to call it a tritet. I thought that was kind of funny, kind of humorous. And one of my buddies that was in the tritet said that's a terrible idea. And so we ended up calling ourselves Red Button Smoothie. And in Red Button Smoothie, I was a founder. I brought all my buddies together. Since the original buddies have left, so the original lineup for Red Button Smoothie is no more, except me. And the second rendition I had of that band was a drummer, really good drummer, sweet drummer, and guitar player. And so we were a trio, the Red Button Smoothie. And I started, so what I wanted to do is I thought it'd be a really cool idea. I said, guys, gather around. They kind of looked at me funny because we were all just sitting there. And I said, I got an idea. I said, I would like to do Nirvana, a cover of Nirvana, their song Aneurysm. And my drummer looked at me and he said, with a horn and guitar and drums. And I said, well, yeah. I said, my idea is that the horn, because none of us sang, the horn will actually be the vocals. So I'm going to replace the vocals with the horn. And my drummer immediately stood up and said, I don't think we have a similar artistic vision. And he left. So, which was awkward because he just left. And then like a week later, I had to come back in and get his drums, and we kind of had an awkward conversation. And he was with another band at that time, which oddly enough, the guitar player, he recruited the guitar player when he came to get his drums. And so after that, the guitar player and the drummer left. So I was spitting mad, and I said, never do a drummer again. So I found a marimba player, and I found a guy that he was playing just down the street. And he had this steel bucket that he had put a broomstick through, and he had a piece of yarn on that. He played that. So it was me on horn, him on his bucket broom, and the guy marimba. And I will tell you guys what, we ended up practicing Nirvana's Aneurysm, and never turned out right. I think it was because of the marimba player. I said it was classically trained. See, that's the thing. You get these classically trained musicians, and they're too good. All right? Am I right? They're too good. They know how to play too well. And so he couldn't, he just couldn't get it. He was having a hard time figuring out Nirvana. And I was like, well, it's because they're too good. And so anyway, marimba player leaves, and the guy with the bucket stuck around forever. Actually, he asked if he could move into my apartment. I was like, well, and while I was thinking, he's like, great. And he started moving stuff in. So anyway, and I got a roommate, and that's cool. So it's me, him, and then every so often we'll have this person that does stomp poetry. You might not think that works, and well, I'm here to tell you you're wrong, because he'll come in and he'll yell random expletives while I blow on my horn, and the bucket broom guy, he'll sit there and he'll strum along, just keeping that beat, keeping that solid. And we've played, if we've played 2, we've played 3 coffee shops in the past 5 years. And I'm really looking for the stomp guys, or the slam poetry guy is really good. But I'm looking for somebody that can really bring something different and new to Red Button Smoothie. So that's kind of my journey right now. The Slam guy's going to stay on. He said he would stay on part-time. So, which is fine. It actually works out pretty well part-time. And but so I'm just looking for that other piece of the puzzle, if you will.
Hey, Joe, we actually just talked to a guy, Patrick. He used to be in a Whitney Houston tribute band, and he was a really, really good vocalist. Every so often, I think he said they would put him behind the drums to hit his pound his hammer on his wood, and long story. And so we could get our producer to connect you guys, because Patrick was actually openly looking for people to create music with. So you guys might have very, very similar artistic, would you guys say visions, artistic visions. So yeah, we could hook you up with them.
Oh my gosh. Tell me you're kidding, because right now it feels like, for me, it feels like a dream's coming true. I mean, I have always, you can ask even some guys from my earlier renditions of Red Button Smoothie, I've always wanted to have a Whitney Houston tribute band. That's been my dream forever. Ever since I started playing horn, I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with this horn, for sure. But one thing I would love to do with this horn is a Whitney Houston tribute band. Now, do you guys know, would Patrick be opposed to doing just some of the vocals and then I do some of the vocals via my horn? I have no idea. I think, I mean, I know Patrick said he didn't sing all the songs for the Whitney Houston tribute band he was in, so I would think that he would be fine with that.
Yeah, I think he would be completely open to that idea. Let me ask you this, Joe, have you ever ran into a musician, a not classically trained musician, but a maybe self-taught musician that plays a piece of wood with a hammer?
Guys, you're blowing my mind here. I feel like this is one of the best shows I've called into. Okay. No, I haven't. And if I'm being honest, that sounds unbelievable to me. Do you know what kind of hammer it was?
I don't know what kind of hammer it was.
Okay. You don't know the kind of hammer it was, but can you tell me this? Do you know the species of wood he was playing?
Again, I have no idea. Do you want us to connect you guys?
I hope you're joking, because Brock, I absolutely want the Phil Switch to connect me and this fellow. What was his name?
His name was Patrick.
Oh my gosh, my best friend in high school's name was Patrick. This is too much. I'm gonna get emotional, so I'm gonna get off here, because the last thing you guys want to hear is Joe crying. Oh God, I don't want to start crying right now.
Joe? All right. Our producer let him go so he would not be crying on air. I think this just became the love connection here. So I'm glad that we were able to do that for Joe and Patrick. I hope that all works out. All right, Phil, do you want to take us out? And just on my behalf, thank you guys for listening. I always appreciate that.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for listening to the Phil Switch podcast. And don't forget to check out my other podcast, First and 15th, which I co-host with Kaplowitz. You can find him, or Kaplowitz Media. You can find him over at kaplowitz.xyz. Again, that's kaplowitz.xyz. And if you guys would like to contact us or reach out to us, any questions, anything like that, anything fun, you can contact us at thefilswitch@gmail.com. Again, that's thefilswitch@gmail.com. Guys, until next time, we wish you all a great week, and we'll talk to you soon here at the Phil Switch.